at some of the lineups here between the Wildcats and Boston College as they line up in the draw circle for what is set to be an outstanding matchup on a Saturday afternoon. We thank you for joining us. Wildcats wearing the home whites with purple numbers and letters and gold trim. The visiting Eagles wearing the maroon colors with gold numbers and letters. As you see there, La Liberty along with Kuykendall can be leading the charge for this Northwestern squad.
Yeah, and Peter, as the Wildcats set up here around the arc, a really impressive opening draw win, going to be huge against this Boston College team that has dominated the draw circle so far this season, winning 30 out of 46 draws. Northwestern has been much more 50-50 in their first two contests.
We look now at the flip side of the starters for Boston College. We talked about how they have been run defensively, but also they've been able to find the back of the pipes themselves. A yellow going to be issued less than 60 seconds into the game.
Yeah, Izzy Skane, that's a big yellow card for Northwestern to face. Belle Smith, the junior midfielder who's been getting some Touritzen buzz in recent weeks. She's going to be stepping into a huge role this year with Charlotte North graduating on both sides of the ball. She defended Izzy Skane straight up right there and forced her into a frustration foul on the other end that the official deemed was yellow card worthy. Huge early play by Smith.
Well, Boston College has played two outstanding games so far. As we look at their starters now, we talked about being led by Rachel Hall, but you can't discount the likes of Davis Smith and Weeks as well.
Absolutely. This is a really deep team. They bring back 6 of their 7 top defenders. They bring back 5 of their 7 top attackers. Even with the loss of some key cogs, it's a really veteran squad that is ready to go back to the national championship and win it, but go back at least for the 6th year in a row.
I spoke to associate head coach Jen Kent just about 48 hours ago. We'll have a lot about that conversation, but one thing she said is we never rebuild, we just reload.
Meanwhile, Northwestern's defense, as there's a near giveaway on the back end by BC, is into their typical zone look. They went to zone for most of the game against Notre Dame, eventually switched into a man-marking scheme, but that zone with Carly Mahoney as the rover is their go-to.
Yeah, they did play much. That possession's going to go to the Wildcats. They did play and switch between zone and man in their first contest. A 1-point slim loss against Syracuse just a week ago.
Yeah, and still down a player here in the early going are the Wildcats. But, yeah, expect them to switch plenty. I mean, there's not a lot of zone teams that are going to stay in zone no matter what. You typically see that more with a man-to-man group. But the Wildcats are certainly capable of switching between. They just want to play that zone defense. They think it gives them a little bit more variability against a team like BC that can score from a lot of different places, even if they have their 2 main scorers in Jed Medjid and Belle Smith.
When they played Notre Dame just a few days ago, Noah, of course, you were here on the call. With that being said, they started out hot. They kept the lead. They got the lead and kept the lead. It wasn't until the end where Notre Dame started scoring a bunch in the waning moments of the contest. What made Northwestern so successful to get that early lead?
Well, even with the early lead, they still started slow offensively. It was the defense that brought them out strong and really closed it down as the penalty has now expired. They only scored 2 goals in the first quarter of each of their first 2 contests, but the defense carried them through both games. So it's been a defense first thing and then getting Skane and the rest of the offense going as the game goes on. With Boston College in this tough man-marking scheme, it's going to be interesting to see how much Skane can get going in the early going.
One player to really keep in mind is we see Skane go bottom right pipe, no good. She checks into the, or as a Monte, excuse me. But with that being said, one player that I always like to point out for this squad is Samantha White, the sophomore defender out of Baltimore, because she's the Swiss Army knife. You want her on defense, you want her mid, you want her on the attack. She can do all 3.
And they're an interesting decision to shoot from the outside that time from the attack for Northwestern. Relatively easy save to get Hall going in the goalkeeper circle. And so far, Northwestern's offense, only been 2 possessions, but looking a little bit toothless. We'll see if the Eagles can come out swinging any harder. Again, like I said, Peter, this feeling out process has happened in each of Northwestern's first 3 games. It has not been hot starts offensively for either team, whether it was Syracuse and Northwestern going to a 2-2 draw in the first quarter, Notre Dame and Northwestern playing a tight first quarter, and now BC and Northwestern. 3 ACC opponents, 3 slow starts at least so far.
Well, not to mention, not just 3 ACC opponents, 3 ranked opponents.
3 top 15, yeah.
The Orange at 5, Notre Dame at 14, BC sits at 3. But, Syracuse and Syracuse and Northwestern have a very, one may say, friendly shot, goal. We'll talk about that more in a moment, but Belle Smith draws the first goal for the Eagles.
Person is, and Northwestern has found some success rotating between that, but they're still trying to find their ground in the draw circle after the loss of Jill Girardi and Brennan Dwyer from last season's team.
Yeah, Belle Smith already her 5th goal of the season. 5 assists as well, so 10 early season points for the Eagle.
Like I said, had a career best season last year, 3rd on the team in points, behind, of course, the legend Charlotte North and Medjid, who's back this season, but she provides so much to this team on the defensive end as well. It's hard not to think that she's the most important player for this BC team this year as a neutral observer.
Her family, Alexa and Caitlin, played college lacrosse at Monmouth and Denver, respectively. So one thing I love to see about lacrosse, I mean, truly it is a family affair, as we know with both of these teams. Crisp pass inside, my goodness, it was mid-air. Didn't even have to hit the ground. BC gets their 2nd goal in as many possessions. Stick on the ground, goal for the Eagles. And she's good, and she's going to keep delivering those goals for BC.
Wildcats could really use a draw win right here, that's for sure, behind Samantha Smith.
Yeah. Sam Smith that time in the circle. And they're going to give that to the Eagles.
Well, it's alternating possession, actually. The Boston College was being a little bit too aggressive. They thought that the foul was being whistled against Northwestern. What I thought the referee motioned for was that it was actually offenses on both sides. Therefore, it is alternating possession, and the possession first goes to the Wildcats on the alternation.
Yeah, I didn't quite see the hand signal. Thought maybe it was a false start, but nonetheless, I believe we're going to have some clarity now.
Well, there was the initial motion by the official in the circle was that there were infractions on both teams. That was the point. In my view, that was the point. The infractions were called on both teams. And I think the alternate possession actually goes to BC, which is why they had to come in and clarify that. The official in the center had it wrong on what the alternating possession was. That's my view of the situation. So BC gets it on the alternate possession instead of Northwestern.
Going near side with the pass, the Eagles already up 2-0 in the beginning moments of quarter number 1. Thanks for joining Noah and I on this Sunday afternoon on Big Ten Plus. 2 of the top 5 teams in the nation, not only in the rankings, but you could see it on the field. Both teams having lost key components to their success in prior years, but again, just reloading, retooling. And by the likes of Northwestern, Noah, and we'll talk about this throughout the game, of course, but you lose a Lauren Gilbert to graduation, but you get a Izzy Skane back. 600+ days between her being able to play and now.
Yeah, it's a huge boost to this team. Obviously, she's such a leader in addition to her abilities on the field. Having her back and in the lineup is just massive for this squad.
Looking for that quick pass again to no avail for BC. Swinging out to the left side now.
Massive amount of attention being paid to the inside of the arc right now for Northwestern.
Keep an eye on Courtney Weeks. She has really been getting a lot of movement alongside of Belle Smith. So Belle Smith setting up in that similar position. That time they go inside on the ground. Trying to run it down is going to be Sam White. BC, though, gets possession. There's that quick run again. She was wide open underneath. Taken away by the Cats. Beautiful save that time by La Liberty.
And that was Courtney Weeks looking for that short side shot. But when La Liberty has a chance, and she got a chance that time because it's a sharp angle look from Weeks, she has proven this season that she can be so effective in net. Just stood strong there, gave Weeks no chance to score that one. Much better defending by the Wildcats, who just packed it inside the arc that time, not letting any cuts through get any openings whatsoever.
Well, at some point you have to make the decision, Noah, okay, fine, if you're going to keep trying to go right outside the circle, we'll give up that 8. There's the goal along the right side. Beautiful play, shot, goal by Elle Hansen. By Gilbert, had some help by Kuykendall along the lines, but amongst the hashes this year, Skane going to have to take that leadership role back. that she had prior, one of the all-time leading scorers in NCAA history, but she can't do it all herself.
Absolutely. And a big-time face-off win right there by Emerson Bolig, another one of the vets on this Northwestern side. You're absolutely right, Pete. I mean, look, Skane is not going to score 10 goals in every game. She might get close to it. She's shown that she's capable, but she's not going to score 10 in every game, and it's just a team like BC that can man her up defensively much more effectively than Notre Dame could because they have more defensive talent. It is going to be a tougher test to this Wildcat team of how can we get the rest of our squad involved. And I do think it's going to be the Skane show before long today, but everybody else has got to play a role as well, as you well know.
Well, eventually you have to say to yourself defensively, if we double team her, somebody else is going to be open. Who can that person be? And I'm sure the Wildcats are okay with, if that's a rotating person. If one day it's Kuykendall and one day it's Smith and one day it's White, as long as somebody's coming in and taking that or playing that second fiddle offensively, it doesn't matter who it is as long as they find the back of the net.
Excellent defense so far this possession from BC, cutting off every angle for El Hansen and Skane. But yes, I would have to agree, Peter.
Doing a spin, looking inside. Nobody there, going back to X. Looking up top is Hansen. Hansen keeps it herself. She's got the lane. Oh, loses possession, or is it swiped away? Nonetheless, and a whistle's going to be called. Hit on the arm. We're going to the 8-meter for a free position.
Yeah, there was an initial call as Hansen was coming into the arc, which was not the secondary call. The initial call as she was going in, you could see the flag go up, but that's not what the secondary call was.
Yeah.
The flag had been put back in the official's pocket, you could see, and then on that, there was deemed to be contact on the stick of Hansen as she was fighting for the ball. At least it looked to me like it's going to be Hansen going back.
I believe so.
It's actually Dylan Amonte, pardon me, with the ball in her cross right now.
Monty rolling back. She was at the floating hash on the far side. Kind of just flicks it in. Misguided pass attempt. She was looking for Dylan Amonte. Just no success.
I think Skane was thinking that Amonte was going to get a lot more purchase on that cut than she did. Amonte slowed down by the defensive BC, and Skane just trying to time that one up, floated that pass in there. Not quite able to connect, but it's a good idea from Skane.
Yeah.
It's just this BC defense makes every pass so difficult when you're trying to break them down in attack, Peter.
Well, like I said, I had an opportunity to talk with Coach Kent. She is not only the associate head coach, defensive specialist, goal specialist. She just preaches defense, defense, defense. Defense is going to win us championships. You hear that adage across so many different sports, but with this BC team, that is a true statement and comes to fruition as we see game after game.
How about this? Northwestern really slowing down this Eagle transition. Hall had the ball in her cross for about 25 seconds.
Yeah.
Took him 40 seconds to get into the attacking third.
Yeah, nice ride by Northwestern. Defensively, 40 seconds or so left on the shot clock, so over half the time used just to get it toward the fan. BC looks for the quick one inside and goal. You saw it the whole way from our vantage point. Beautiful pass. Beautiful shot. You get one shot, and then we're going to take the ball and go back in the other possession. They've only needed one shot offensively so far on 2 out of their 3 goals.
It's a great point, Peter. You know, the lack of and La Liberty is not a goalkeeper who allows many second chances.
Yeah.
She doesn't give up a ton of rebounds, so you better get them early.
Yeah.
If you're going to get them.
La Liberty, the Tufts transfer. So first time at the helm, calling for it. Wide open miss for Kuykendall, or I should say the pass to her was wide open as Monte falls, but gets it back to Kuykendall. She's got the lane now. Can she take it? Sails it too high over the crossbar.
It was a really impressive catch from Kuykendall as that ball ricochets off the door and flies back into play. And then another point-blank look. She struggled on those against Notre Dame, missed a couple of easy ones. And there, you know, not an easy shot, of course, but one that she certainly feels she should have put away.
Kuykendall goes near side to no avail. Oh,
and frustration right there, and Hall doesn't like it. I mean, Kuykendall reaching into the circle to bat that ball away. I think Hall wanted a yellow card, but Northwestern really haranguing this BC transition in the early going. The Wildcats have got to get Kuykendall going. These are not shots that she typically misses. She's telegraphing these looks a little bit as Taylor, first time we've called her name today, whistled for the foul right there.
We talked about how there's freshmen on both squads that are tabbed to step up, and Taylor's one of them that, you know, the staff for Northwestern has said she is expected to do big things right away.
Absolutely, and 5 goals in her first career game against Syracuse certainly fits the bill. She had a tougher go against Notre Dame, but expect her to be a factor today.
Looking for the shot, deciding to pass off instead to Mallory Hasselback. The younger Hasselback has checked into the game. So 2 sisters, a nice tip by Northwestern and La Liberty to kind of diffuse that situation. That one goes too far, and that's going to stay with BC as well.
I think BC surprised not to see a foul. So was I. Medjid got a lot of contact there, and maybe there was a late whistle from behind. It looked initially like no foul was going to be called, but it will be a chance for Medjid from the free position arc. It certainly seemed like a foul in live action.
It was close. It was close to say the least, but nonetheless, setting up now, number 35 for the Eagles is Jen Medjid. Takes a step, passes over. Misguided pass, BC having to reset up their offense. Good sequence there by Northwestern to play off the mistake pass by BC. Inside down, carpet shot good. Throw the stick down as Medjid comes away with the goal.
Yeah, certainly Cross almost scraping the carpet right there. Field hockey-esque to be sure. She's just got to travel outside and go about 30 meters down the street to go to Lakeside Field.
That's true. That's true.
Go visit the 2021 national champions and 2022 national runner-ups if she would like to do so. Another big win by Northwestern in the draw circle, though, Pete. Every time it looks like BC's about to run away with this one, the Wildcats have come up with a draw circle victory.
Yeah, Northwestern didn't have many deficiencies last season for lacrosse. Again, one of the final teams standing at the end of the day. But draw controls was something that you could say, okay, they can improve in that area, and they've done so early this season.
Well, it feels like this game has been their best out of the 3. I actually think that in Notre Dame and Syracuse, they would have wanted a lot more.
Oh, sure.
As we could see, a little bit of a non-contact injury there from Taylor. Did not like to see that, although she got up pretty quickly under her own power. Like I said, she got beat up a little bit by Notre Dame, fouled multiple times as she charges in here.
One Wildcat on the ground trying to set things up, and a whistle going to be called against BC.
Another chance for Dylan Amante. This time a little bit of a better angle. Expect her to take a shot on this.
Again, Amante very solid with the 2 steps and fire. She's got enough of an angle. She does so. Hashtag I called it. Second goal of the afternoon for the Wildcats. Amante finds near top corner. But again, being a lefty myself and having played, many sports in my time, there's cognizant scouting against you as a lefty, and you have to then try to adapt accordingly. And so that's a situation where, and if you're a Monte, you're such a veteran player that you know that, all right, if I can aim it right here, that's going to be a weakness. And I would rather take advantage of a weakness than just, all right, I'm going to go to the strong side anyway.
What a battle out for that ball. Demuno looked like she was beat, then she looked like she had it, and then she got beat again as the ball went out of play, and Schleicher's going to get on it. That was big-time fight by both of these teams for that draw control.
Northwestern sits at their 2 goals, which you have said, of course, has been what they have scored in their first 2 games this season in the first quarter. So they've reached that mark, but have allowed BC to go all the way up 4-2 so far. They have possession after the draw control.
This Wildcat defense has got to figure something out. They've been torn apart so far by the Eagles.
Trying to reset the attack. Top of the fan, inside, point blank. 4 of 5 goals from less than 5 feet. McKenna Davis finds the back of the net. (5-2) is the lead for Boston College. 8 shots, 5 goals, an efficient offensive output as Smith is in the circle out of Mill Valley, California. And Northwestern able to come away with control.
Smith has been electric in the circle so far. When she's been on the line, she's made it happen, won that clean to herself. Chance for the Wildcats to bring one, to get one back here.
Making a move, Kuykendall finds it, swings it too far, and that's going to go BC's way. I saw. So the near side official did waive possession of Boston College.
She absolutely did, and then corrected herself. There was no way that BC was closest to that ball. It wasn't even close. We saw a couple of those calls go against Northwestern.
Sure. As we've learned from our time in the booth together, you go with the official call.
Yeah, closest to the end line. I mean, close to the end line was Northwestern by far. It was not a close call on that one.
Officials today, Erica Leslie, Ronnie Anton, Lauren Nowak, Carolyn Ellison, and Kayla McLeod. Kuykendall looks for the quick pass. It's there. Oh, high in the air. My goodness, that sailed 30 feet. 10 seconds left. Can the Cats get off one more shot? Amante looks top of the fan. One more time to White. Can White get it off with 3, with 2, dodges, whistle.
Yeah, she was fouled.
With 0.3 of a second left. I'm anxious to see if White's going to be able to even get off an attempt in that time.
The initial shot from Hansen just bounced right off the crossbar.
Yep. Beautiful
look from Kuykendall to Elle Hansen, and it just couldn't quite go down. And then Sam White driving hard, getting fouled, but like you said, not a lot of time.
Save anyway by Hall. And at the end of one, the Eagles of Boston College with a firm 5-2 lead over the Wildcats of Northwestern. Smith in the circle for the Eagles, but that one picked up by Northwestern's Smith. However, BC takes possession.
It should be said as well, for Northwestern, that early yellow card for Izzy Skane, I think, threw her off a lot too. It's so tough when you have a yellow that early in the game. Can't pick up another, obviously, and it makes you play a little bit more passively than I think you otherwise would. It really changed the trajectory of that first quarter, and we'll see how much it affects the second.
Well, again, Northwestern's been stretched so far outside the fan that they've allowed, and again, it's been perfect passing, so it's not as if they're out of position, but when they're in that man coverage, it just allows, or has allowed, for that point-blank passing because it's coming from anywhere. There's not a particular player, we need to mark there, or we need to slide there. Shot, goal, BC picking up where they left off. Another goal for the Eagles.
Really a team effort, absolutely. And now with the draw wins, it's really starting to cascade for the Eagles.
Can the Eagles, who got draw control yet again, good save on the near side, dropping down to her left knee is La Liberty.
And even still, that attempt from Medjid hit the post. I mean, that one was right there, and she had a very tough angle from which to shoot from as well. So even when BC misses, they're right on the doorstep, and the Wildcats could really use a clean possession here. I mean, the understatement of the century, of course, when you're down by 4, but I mean, Medjid, she's being pushed out the whole way. I mean, those are cross checks coming in, and she still, while diving to the ground, hit that ball did hit off the post after it hit off of La Liberty. So she's still right there.
Yeah. Northwestern desperately needs a goal to get a little bit of momentum back in their favor, or if anything, just to stop the momentum of BC. Let's see if they try to drain a lot of the shot clock now just for, that's going to be a whistle.
Shooting space, it looked like, against BC there. Yep. And another chance for Monty. She cashed in from the opposite side of the field from the exact same position.
So let's see what Amante could do. Flip side. Keeps it herself. She goes too far. Running it down is a Cat teammate. That's going to stay with Northwestern as well.
Rung that one off the post, too. At least it sounded like it from up here. Wildcats able to maintain possession, get that 60-second reset on the clock.
Thought about it. Pulled it back herself. What a beautiful play. Erin Kuykendall out of Spencerport High School. Pulled up with her left like she was going to pass, and all of a sudden went into a full 3-step sprint. Had the goal alone. In the circle now. Not a lot of shuffling and shoving on the far side of the draw circle, as able to come away cleanly as Sam Smith.
Very interesting. Taylor led the BC player away from that exact area of the circle, so it could be a clean win for Sam Smith. Not sure if that's exactly what she intended to do, but if so, very heady play from Madison Taylor.
We'll give her the credit. holding it herself, going to the near side. Amante now thought about the shot, held it back. Amante getting some quality minutes here on this Sunday afternoon against the Eagles. Pulling it around, thinking about it is Madison Taylor, the freshman. Near side, Hiller, she actually went cross with it. Fire the cannon in the background. 2 in a row for the Cats.
And Dylan Amante making it happen right there. But the Wildcats showing now that they can score without her. And again, Taylor makes the same rotation up the circle as the draw is about ready to ensue. When Smith has been out there, she's been dominant. She's already got 4 controls herself.
La Liberty, 6 goals against, but 3 saves. She's at a .333 percentage. Hall, 4 goals against with 6 saves.
Big job by Ryan Smith to get one back right there. She had been struggling a lot more against Samantha Smith to start this second quarter, but her team needed that control to stem the tide for Northwestern, and they got it.
I'm sure BC would like to answer back quickly. Let's see if the defense for Northwestern can hold up. It's been a tough go in the first quarter and a half, so let's see what they're able to pull out in this possession. They have forced some not easy shots, we'll say, in the most recent attempts for BC. Northwestern 4 for 13 on their shots per goal differential.
Cassidy Weeks scored the last one. Here's her sister Courtney probing. And now Medjid underneath.
Medjid back to X, going to Y, looking for something. There's the streak that was defended, but pushed from behind as Belle Smith almost went tumbling. Misguided inside, La Liberty picks up the pieces.
Well, it was actually Martello making the pass to Medjid, and she went on a journey there before trying that interior pass. Northwestern just took it away, and then a chance taken by La Liberty to try to clear that one quickly. Don't know if I like that one from the grad transfer out of Tufts. Gives it right back to the Eagles.
Yeah, tried for a long stretch pass. It just wasn't there. Oh, my goodness. That might have been one of the prettiest shots I've ever seen. Jen Medjid, the no-look Twizzler. Goal, BC up 7-4.
No hesitation, and what could have been a big momentum swing for Northwestern has turned the other way. Again, I believe alternating possession, the call there is that ball did not clear the level of the heads. Northwestern needed to get the possession on that one.
Yeah. 7-4 with 10-10 remaining in the second quarter. Noah Coffin, I'm Peter Ferreri. Big 10 plus 2 top 5 teams. That one sails too far, and they'll stay possession Cats. A lot of movement offensively for Northwestern. More movement than we've seen recently. Misguided pass and running it down, and BC's able to get possession, and a whistle going to be called.
Hanson waited way too long right there. Taylor was open initially on the cut through. She didn't pass it to her until she was almost past the goal, and at that stage it was a much tougher pass to make. The block there goes against Kuykendall instead of the other way. That's the right call, certainly, although Kuykendall's a bit slower to get up. And it's those kind of little mistakes that we have not seen the Eagles make on offense nearly as often as you've seen from Northwestern. You can see here Kuykendall sliding in, trying to draw a charge here, but yeah, gets there way too late, not even close.
You know, when we talk about the success right now, this BC team, one thing Coach Kent said was, as she says, as cliche as this sounds, we go with the saying, all 8, all in. And it really shows itself when it's not just, okay, we're on defense, we're on offense, we're at the mid, we got to go. I mean, they're playing so well together. It's just fluid motion, play after play, possession after possession.
Harsh defending there, was waiting for the whistle to come. Oh, wow. And it goes the other way on the clear out. They called Smith that time. Wow, I think Belle Smith was certainly expecting the other way, and so were many of the people watching, but credit to the defense by Northwestern. It's always a tough call when there's that much contact both ways, but benefited out goes to the Wildcats that time.
Setting things up now is the aforementioned Kuykendall, as retreating is Berkery. Looking for a call right now. Checking in is Bolig. Amante goes to the right. She's been a big part of the offense on and off the ball for the Cats so far. There's the shot, there's the bounce, there's the goal. She almost tripped up, but she stayed upright. Maddie Taylor, the freshman out of New York. One of the more recent changes to pick up pace of play was that check, and to me it's proved fruitful. I mean, you know, teams are trying to play it as fair as possible because they don't want to get called on it then, and then it just becomes a back and forth situation. So 7-5 your score, 7:43 on the clock. Northwestern back within 2 off of the goal by true freshman, Madison Taylor. That just shows the amazing recruiting that Coach Amante Hiller has done. You know, and both these squads have, but to have a true freshman come in after such stellar year after year situations, oh my goodness, and La Liberty gets absolutely shoved to the ground.
La Liberty got hammered right there, made an enormous save. She saw that Belle Smith was coming clean again. So what does she do? She says, this time I'm going to take the initiative. Yep. Goes outside of the circle to make the initial save, and then maybe slight embellishment on the back end there, but certainly got hit hard enough for a foul to be called. Huge play by La Liberty, taking the initiative to go out and get the ball instead of sitting back and letting Smith score on her.
Well, and that comes down to, all right, it's a 50-50 shot. If I stay here, they might have that point-blank shot again, so I might as well be proactive about it this time. Don't know if that was something they said coaching-wise. Oh, that's going to stay with Northwestern.
Skane getting harangued, but gets the benefit of the call right there. And I think La Liberty's such a vet. You know, Peter, obviously 4 years of experience at Tufts, 2-time Division III goalkeeper of the year, was recruited by just about everybody in the sport coming into this season, everybody who had a goalkeeper need, including North Carolina, defending champs, chose Northwestern. She's such a smart player out there. She knows how to make in-game adjustments, and that one was a huge one.
I'd love to have heard the pitch of what got La Liberty to end up in Evanston. When you have that many options of where to go.
Looked like they called the cross-check there to give Taylor the free position look.
Let's see, they're going to send her. They're going to send her, I believe, to the
back to the hash. Back to the hash, which is obviously not optimal, although Taylor does have a ton of speed, Gilbert-esque in terms of her ability to get in front of the goal. Lauren Gilbert is one of the only players you would see consistently score from this point on a free position look. Taylor could go in and go for it here.
Decides to go back inside. Oh, look for White. Just missed her. My goodness, that would have been an easy one for the Cats. But nonetheless, BC on the run. Solid ride by the Cats to try to get possession back. It's still a free ball. And push from behind now by Kuykendall. And it's going to end up BC's way. But what a ride to just dwindle this shot clock down.
Skane nearly had that cause turnover there. And how open was Sam White cutting through from Taylor. Just couldn't connect those two underclassmen. Taylor put the pass a little bit behind. I think she expected White to cut a little farther out than she did. As that Northwestern midfielder straying off sides there. Or that last attacker from the Wildcats, pardon me. It's going to give BC that shot clock reset, which is big for them because it was already down under 60. We've seen them have a couple of longer possessions, although they've been much quicker in this second quarter in general.
Coach Kent said how coachable this team is. They're very prepared for this away game because something that I've seen. Oh, nice save by La Liberty. Dropping to her left knee and coming away victorious. Let's see how this stretch pass proves itself. White knocked from behind. But talking about playing in an away facility, Coach Kent said, well, you know, Peter, this facility is very similar to where we play our home games, so we're not too worried about away versus home in this type of scenario.
White just got careless there, took it end to end, and then backed out of it for a split second. That's all it took Belle Smith to capitalize.
Smith, numbers for BC, as able to run back and reset up is Belle Smith as they're trying to set up the offense now.
Yeah, that was Davis carrying it ahead, and now Smith heading back to set up point after getting that takeaway on White in the first place. We've gone a long while without a goal here, Peter.
Yep.
Seen plenty of good defense on both sides. La Liberty really keeping the Cats in it at this stage. It's been about 4 minutes by my count.
Belle Smith having an outstanding afternoon thus far. really dwindling the shot clock, trying to find the exact pass they're looking for. Rolling around is Davis. Trying to reset up now on the far side. At 30, a cat falling, point blank, whistle gonna be called. And slow to get up.
The call there,
Smith.
Yeah, Smith goes down. The call there, it goes against Kendall Halpern, defender off the bench for Northwestern. It looked like the call was that her stick was inside the bubble that they put around that face throat. I'm not 100% sure that she actually did make contact with the face of Smith, but again, she doesn't need to. If you get into that bubble around the face and neck, that imaginary bubble, it is a foul, regardless of whether there's actual contact to the goggles, as there probably was there. Big time chance for Smith from the top of the arc, pardon me.
Belle Smith, the midfielder out of West Hampton Beach. Far side, no good. That possession, however, will stay with BC back at X.
But the clock dwindling. She missed the target there.
Medjid now, we know, has the fancy footwork. Passes in, had me faked at 5, at 4. I don't know if she sees the shot clock. Takes it herself, and with 2 seconds on the shot clock, fancy stick work again for the magician Medjid.
Again, Northwestern leading the draws going into that one 8-6. And a chance to make it 9-6 here. And still, BC has taken advantage because of their success defensively and offensively. The Wildcats draw circle operatives have done their job, that's for sure.
3 minutes remaining in the second quarter. A top 5 matchup, 5 NU, 3 BC. BC had a strong lead. NU clawed back goal by goal. However, Medjid, some of the fanciest stick work you'll see at the NCAA level. Misguided pass along with being well defended by BC, but they're going to call a whistle now on Boston College.
Yeah, the blocking foul is going to be either on Amante or the defender there, trying to see who that was. It looked like Schleicher on the defensive end for BC, and they get Schleicher, and now she's slow to get up. Yeah, they're going to call for the trainers to come on over. Big collision in the middle, and an ill-advised pass, in my view, from Izzy Skane. She saw the double was coming, Peter, and passed out of it a little too quickly. There wasn't anybody open yet. You can see here, there's 2 coming at Skane, but she passes that a little too quickly, and Schleicher were able to jump up at it. But the official, with a clear view at it, you can see from that side, does call the blocking foul. And it seems as though Schleicher did slide underneath where Amante was going, but at the same time, she's going for the ball. It's just a really tough spot for the senior defender, and you can see she's in plenty of pain with a big-time collision there.
Well, let me ask you this, Noah. Again, Izzy Skane hurt in a fall matchup back in 2021. It might take a few games. Well, there's a goal by Amante. Why not add another one for her?
How about the hat trick from Dylan Amante? Peter, she looks electric right now, and I think she felt like she forced her own offense a little bit more than she needed to down the stretch of that season instead of setting up her teammates as much as she could have. And she's really trying to play that setup role right now. And to a significant extent, it's worked in this second quarter. Look, Northwestern has looked much more dangerous offensively in the second quarter, keeping pace with BC, even though their offense has been solid too. So it's hard to fault what Skane has been doing. Is another big-time draw control win for Sam Smith and the Wildcats. But yeah, at a certain point, you want to see your star a little bit more involved in the action, even with all those caveats you noted.
So just like that, Northwestern back to within 2 and possession with 2 minutes and change remaining in this opening half. I'm sure they'd love to get a few shots off to try to get within 1. Now, we talked about it in between the first. Oh, and that's going to go another mental lapse by White to get possession back to BC.
Well, it's an awkward pass as well by Amante. She puts it right on her body, and it's a tough catch for White to make. BC's defense was spinning back towards the strong side. They were a little bit late in their rotation. White would have had a clean look, and Amante saw that and maybe made that pass a little bit quicker than she needed to.
The reason I say that is when we were ending the first quarter, you talked about, and with much fruition, that this could have really gotten away from Northwestern if the second quarter was much like the first. However, things kind of evening out. Northwestern finding a little bit more of their groove here in the second. You know, outscoring BC right now 4-3 in this second quarter alone after trailing 5-2 at the end of one.
And that offense has been huge. So has Molly La Liberty. She's stood up, but that time couldn't get to it. Oh, but I think Northwestern heard something come in beforehand. La Liberty is really, really heated right now. There was something that came on the PA or maybe a whistle. There was something we heard again.
So just like that, a 3-goal lead for BC. And possession. So they have 45 seconds to try to extend this lead back to 4. Solid challenge from behind, but BC picks up the pieces again.
It's an excellent job of maintaining possession right there when it was really tough by Martello.
Weeks now. Set up by Weeks at the top of the fan. Nice swing passing back to X. Looking inside, it's there, it's good, it's a goal. Boston College, another one, up by 4. We were just speaking how Northwestern had clawed back and had been winning in the second quarter 4-3. It's now flipped back to the advantage of BC, having getting 5 goals in the first and second. As stated, Martello with her 3rd goal today.
And another draw control for BC, and Northwestern running the time off there. I wonder if a card might come out for delay of game, but doesn't look like we're seeing anything yet. They just stopped the clock and reset it for BC. 4 seconds to get a shot away.
So let's see what BC does now with 4.3 remaining.
I mean, look, it's going to be in the cross of Medjid, is my guess, and she's going to shoot it. That's what's going to happen. And we know she's capable of scoring it, even within just, and they're going to give her an extra two seconds right there. I do not expect necessarily a pass, although Belle Smith is ready and waiting right there at the top of the fan.
Nothing would surprise me with this BC squad. They've been willing to make that extra pass to have point-blank range. Belle Smith, one of the quicker shooters you'll see in either conference. A lot of communication right now between the Northwestern defense. As you see,
the officials, I think, still trying to get the clock settled here. They've got it at 6.5 seconds. They had reset it from 4.3. And you can see there's the conversation being had with the coaches. Scott Hiller does not seem particularly pleased with whatever is going on. And it's hard for him to have been pleased by the way this first half has gone for his squad. As the explanation continues, and now Northwestern coach is being told to back it off a little bit. Meanwhile, Coach Acacia Walker-Weinstein on the other end, fellow Maryland graduate of Kelly Monty Hiller, cool, calm, and collected. She's got to love the way this half has unfolded for her squad.
10 goals already against one of the top teams in the nation. I mean, this could be a national championship preview.
And there we go. So there has been a green card given. That was why Scott Hiller was so displeased.
The quick pass inside, taken away defensively with 3, with 2, with 1, just going long range to kill out the clock. And at half, Boston College, number 3 ranked, comes into the Lake Show and has a 4-goal lead against Northwestern. As we're underway now in the second half, and a whistle to start things off.
They called Ryan Smith that time for the early movement.
So false start on Smith. Still a player of advantage, Noah, for some, I guess you could say, chirpiness at the end of the opening half.
I think that green card actually did come, like I thought, Peter, on the delay of game with a few seconds left. Northwestern threw the ball away after the whistle, well after the whistle had gone, that it was BC's possession. And now a turnover here on Taylor's end of things, but at least Northwestern was able to run off enough time to really make this penalty, hopefully for them at least, moot.
Has been a lot of near side possessions on this side of the field. Let's see what BC does now, because they already got possession to start things now.
They've been so successful, Peter, sorry to cut you off there, with their patience. You know, it's been such a key for them today.
Yeah. I was just to say, player up advantage has gone away. Back to X is McKenna Davis. Passes it top, long range shot, bounce, hits 2 pipes, and bounces back out. My goodness, it's very rare you'll see it hit 1 and bounce out, but to go right to left and out, that's surely what happened for that BC attempt.
You could see 3 or 4 different BC players celebrating.
Yep.
Like it was in. And wow, that was as close as it gets, absolutely.
Northwestern was within 2 with just over 60 seconds remaining in the second quarter. BC turned around, scored right after the 1-minute whistle distraction, scored again with 15 seconds remaining to give themselves this strong 4-goal lead. Northwestern, Amante's had herself a heck of an afternoon so far. As you mentioned, a hat trick of her own, one of her better offensive performances we've seen in the past few games. Struck from behind, Belle Smith going to be called with it. We're going a bit too high.
Yeah, reaching over the top that time by Smith as Lucy Monroe earns the foul. Looked like La Liberty got a piece of that one before the double doink,
Yeah.
and you could see full celebration mode for Kayla Martello, like it was already in the back of the net. Unfortunately for the Eagles, it turned around.
Some may call it a double doink, which has of course gotten some, will rile up some local Evanston fans. But nonetheless, so rare to hit both posts. Kuykendall thought about it, kept it herself. Shot clock about to expire. Somebody's got to take a shot, and that's going to be a whistle with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. So this is the second time in almost the past 5 or 6 possessions. We saw it happen to White earlier, where the shot clock was expiring.
Yes, Skane was fouled by Annabelle Hasselbeck right there, right at the expiration. She was on her like a glove, was Hasselbeck. But Skane going to get her first real chance of this game.
Taking the shot and finding it, along with getting bamboozled from behind. My goodness, she's shaking it off and telling the team she's okay. But there is the goal that we have been waiting for. Izzy Skane, her first on the afternoon.
Well, defensively, I think, look, the cuts are beating them a lot of the time. You have to focus in on the main cutters. You're not getting beat on one-on-one by just about anybody besides Medjid and Martello. You focus on them. You try to take the cuts a little bit more out of the equation, but it's much easier said than done, Peter. And right now, they're getting beat in one-on-one defense over and over. It's just about individual defenders. You're going to keep to this man-to-man philosophy, standing up at the point of attack a little bit better than they have.
Making a run now for the Eagles was Cassidy Weeks out of Bayport, New York. Now top of the key is Hasselbeck, who swings to the right of the arc. Over to Courtney Weeks again. Davis back to Weeks. BC really setting up an offensive attack, getting the screen. Heading back, a lot of near-sided action now, trying to set up something to find the one-off pass that's unsuccessful. There is the opportunity, but staunch defense by Northwestern, and that's a beautiful play defensively by Kendall Halpern, the junior out of Woodbury, New York. Amazing sequence.
Yeah, it looked like the charge was called against Medjid. Whether or not they called the charge, this is excellent defense. It's the best anybody's defended Medjid all day for the Cats. You can see La Liberty had it covered even if that shot was on frame. Beautiful sequence all around. Kendall Halpern might be the answer against Jen Medjid. She's had her moments defensively today, even though she's gotten beaten a couple times as well.
Again, sometimes it takes a team, a few minutes, a few goals to find themselves. Boston College has done so stellar of a job offensively this season. 14 goals against number 18 ranked USC, the ladies of Troy. 16 goals against UMass, ranked number 23.
Man, Skane from a sharp angle there just missed, Peter. That thing was almost sneaking past on the short side. And then the Wildcats nearly forced a turnover in their own in Boston College's own end. It was a beautiful pass from Kuykendall to set up the run from Skane behind the head. Skane couldn't quite pay it off from a really difficult angle.
I paused for a second because the smoke machine had gone off, so I wasn't sure, that's going to be an infraction, but BC able to just keep running with it. Again, one of the more recent changes in the game is if the whistle stays your possession, just keep running instead of having to do a second whistle start.
Yep. And it was initially a really good job by Hall to help her team clear it out, but then Boston College couldn't quite complete the transition cleanly.
Making a run, but losing the ball, losing her stick.
Mahoney still got hers, actually. BC player lost her stick. And Hall is really not happy right there. She wanted a call in her team's favor.
Sophia Taglick was the defender who lost her stick.
And now Mahoney's involved in the offense for Northwestern, typically not one of the 7 out there offensively.
Waiting to see what the call's going to be. As we have the officials converging now.
Conversation seems to be about the possession clock. I think there was talk as to whether it should be reset, whether Boston College had earned possession after Northwestern carried it in and lost it. And they do reset it, so all the way back to 86, because Boston College had possession briefly before Northwestern won it back. And Rachel Hall was really displeased with that forecheck. She thought there was a foul that was not called, and there certainly was a lot of contact, Peter, although it was tough to tell for sure. These passes are just not as clean as they have been in the past for Northwestern.
Let's see if they can set up Kuykendall to the near side. Oh, high hit against the Wildcats. Slowed to get up, but should be okay, is Madison Taylor.
You saw Taylor take a ton of contact against Notre Dame. She stood up through it. And again, so dangerous on the free position arc, especially from the top. This is not a place Boston College wants to see her. Already 1 goal on the game. And it's that cross check initially. Yeah. I mean, she got hit in the head on the back end as well, I think.
So dead center hash for the free position for Taylor. Keeps it herself. Down. Goal. Bottom left corner. Madison Taylor brings the Wildcats back to within 2.
Those free position goal numbers, Peter, starting to mount. BC 0 for 1 on free position attempts. They've only had the one. Yep. Northwestern is now 4 for 6. That is a huge margin right there. The whistles are going in Northwestern's favor, and BC's been more aggressive defensively, to be fair.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that's a huge improvement on where they were early in the year. Not a lot of successful free positions against Syracuse in their opener.
Absolutely.
And so they've really been able to turn things around in the past 2 games.
An alternate... Pardon me, Peter. Alternate possession on that one, by the way, gave it to BC. So Northwestern now has the arrow for the next time we have an alternate possession situation, just to keep it in people's minds. But no, continue.
That's a very good point to hold on to. But one thing that was being said is the reason I asked Coach Kent about this away game is you've played 2 ranked teams at home. Now you're playing a ranked team away, one that which was 1 goal away from being 2-0 in their own right. And so it's not just the same. You know, and I'm not saying such a discrepancy, but I allot NCAA women's lacrosse a lot to NCAA men's football in that you have a more limited amount of contests to play, and so there's a difference between playing the number 5 team than playing the number 23 team, albeit both ranked.
Absolutely right. Like you said, these are 2 teams with the pedigree. You know, they've been in the Final Four each of the last 2 years, both these teams, and of course BC making the championship in both years and winning one.
Misguided pass. Cats come away with it, trying to weave through the sea of Eagles, and able to do so successfully is Northwestern.
And there's such slim margins between that level, right, Peter? First between that level of the fringes of the top 20 to the true national championship contenders. Then between the level of the national championship contenders and then the ones who actually make the championship. It's so slim, right, the difference between those teams. And Northwestern wants to get to BC's level, that level they've been plenty of times in Kelly Monty-Hiller's tenure. They haven't been able to get over that hump in these past couple of years. They want to be where BC is, and that's why this is such a big game, even with its early in the season status.
Yeah, it was almost, and, you know, I am sure. Oh, another goal, dead to rights, down the pipe. Izzy Skane gets her 2nd one. Folks, if you've never seen her shoot lacrosse before, one of the hardest shots in all of D1 lacrosse. The Smiths in the draw center. And BC gets one of the few that they've had this afternoon. Along the right side now for the Eagles is Belle Smith. Smith came out on an absolute tear to begin the contest this afternoon, quieted down as time has gone along.
And of course, an Eagles team that's veteran, very used to having to weather storms like this from great teams. You know, it's not a situation they're unfamiliar with.
Hits the pipe and bounces back out to the 20-yard line. Northwestern trying to get it off of the ground. Scramble drill. Northwest, I can't even, I believe Martello has it now.
Yeah, Martello came away with it, and she's the one who hit the post initially. It was a great action, working in, one-on-one, beat her defender, got there, got it past La Liberty, and just rang it off the post again. It's the 4th time BC has drawn iron in this game, Peter. They're inches away from being up way more than just one.
The unforgiving pipe.
Big ground ball pickup for them to maintain this possession and really put the pressure on.
Yes, it was. You know, they're known for that on the defensive side. Nice knee save, but picking it back up off the ricochet. Beautiful follow-up by Cassidy Weeks, the midfielder. Again, followed it up off the defensive ricochet and able to find the goal.
Absolutely is all about what comes next.
Smith v. Smith in the draw circle.
It's been this way ever since really the early second quarter when we saw DeMuno stop being in the rotation.
Oh, falling right into the Smith for BC as she makes a run.
Big win for Ryan Smith. She's won a couple in a row now. She's actually won 3 of them in this quarter. Been much cleaner on the draw.
I like this. Ooh, push from behind. That's going to be a cross check. Halpern gingerly going back to the fan. And BC now already got 1 of the 3 back that was scored against them. Can White and the defense of Northwestern hold strong with now 5 minutes remaining in the third? I know it's a cliche term, Noah, but what an absolute battle between these 2 top-ranked teams.
I mean, this is as good as you're going to get for an early season game. You know, regardless of how these next 20 minutes play out, it has been a phenomenal one to watch.
Shot down, goal, bottom left corner. Kayla Martello, another one for BC. That's 2 out of the 3. I said they have to be wary of getting back, and they have. Was a year ago, the 23rd of February, 6 against Virginia.
Yeah, 6-point career high. She's already tied her career high in goals at 4, which she set 3 separate times, including this, 4 separate times now because she scored 4 goals earlier this year as well. But a big draw win there for the Cats.
If you're Northwestern, you'd like to get at least one of those back. 4 or more goals heading into the 4th, a very tough place to be.
And it feels like I'm calling every draw win a big draw win. That's how it is when it's 2 top 5 teams, Peter.
Yes.
You know how it is. Every possession so valuable in a game like this where the defenses have been as strong as they've been.
Again, both these teams 9 months ago or so falling to the hands of the Tar Heels, eventual national champions. So some may argue that's why these 2 teams are top 5, but answering right back. Scooting along the carpet. Another beautiful shot by Dylan Amonte.
And an assist for Skane there, her first of the game. She's starting to get more and more involved in the offense as well.
She has.
Less of a decoy.
Another stat I know you like to mention, Northwestern up to 21 shots now to the 22 of BC. They have gained draw control back-to-back times.
Skane wanted to continue on that whistle, but I believe the foul occurred inside the arc. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
So a free position look for Taylor. They're not going to let Skane keep going. Now you can see the points there. BC really wants that outside of the arc. Melanie Welch, the grad student, arguing for it. They know how dangerous Taylor can be from the free position arc. Let's take another look. Where did the foul come? Ooh, it does look like that contact is outside the arc to me.
Yes,
so now it's Northwestern getting the benefit of the call.
Some may say maybe the shadow was over the line, but nonetheless, free position shot. Driving in, no whistle called. I thought there was contact from behind, but nonetheless, Hall now trying to throw it over.
Yeah, for me, Peter, that's clean. It's actually really good defense there by Cassidy Weeks, crashing in alongside Hunter Roman that time on the arc. And now a lot of contact as Scales goes down. They both look to me like they got stick-to-stick there. I did not see any contact with the head or back of Taylor. We saw her beat that defense, that very same defense, for a free position goal earlier in this quarter. That time, BC's defenders were quick enough off the whistle to just beat her to the spot. Great defensive play.
Kind of surprised she just didn't, like prior, take the 2 or 3 steps and fire at it. Tried to get more penetration, but the speed of BC caught up very quickly.
It's just such an instinctive defense as well. And sometimes when you say that, it feels like it takes away from their mentality. You know, they're obviously a really smart team, no doubt about that. But the instinctiveness in terms of covering each other, right? In terms of getting each other's backs, in terms of rotating, in terms of moving. They know where they're supposed to be. They get there a step before you even think about where they should be rotating. That's how smart and how together this defense plays.
A whistle going to be called. Kick save.
And the whistle there was potentially inadvertent. The referees, the officials are going to talk about it.
It looked clean to me. There is a Wildcat very slow to get up.
Big contact in the middle. This Wildcat defense has had bodies flying all over the place. It's Medjid driving there, and there is a cross-check there, certainly from the backside on Berkery, but the whistle came well before that. The initial whistle that we heard came well before that secondary contact and that cross-check for Berkery, which I do believe was a foul from my vantage point. So that's what the officials are talking over right now. When did that whistle come?
A yellow card going to be issued.
They got Medjid. They got Medjid on the yellow card. Wow.
I was not expecting that.
No.
That was not on the bingo card of what could have happened for that whistle. So
big break for the Wildcats, no doubt. It's the first yellow of the game against BC.
Yeah, huge turn of events just for the Cats.
Very similar situation to how Skane got hers early in the first quarter. Yep. Driving and shooting, and the yellow was called. And Northwestern's going to take a timeout to try to take full advantage of the woman advantage.
Yeah, you saw that during that initial whistle.
Start to this half for her, but you know, Dolce, younger player, really well-regarded freshman, and has played in limited action so far this season very well, only allowing 1 goal on 6 shots on goal. But a big move, to be sure, at this stage of the game. Not something we expected to see.
Well, BC did state that it wasn't until, and how about this for being on the edge of your seat, not until the night before their season opener against UIC did they name their starter for the season of Hall at goalkeep. So the night before.
3 seconds been called here, meanwhile, Peter. Not to cut you off, but
please.
3 seconds has been called, so it will be a free position chance for Northwestern. And, by the way, some clarity on the yellow card. They did get Jen Medjid for dangerous propulsion, is what we've been told. Not something that we saw on the replay, but that was the call. And so now Northwestern has the free position plus the woman advantage and a chance for Madison Taylor.
Passing back to reset up the offense now. White, again, one of the most dynamic players for this Cat squad, being any position she could play.
BC slipping back into more of a zone. Down a player.
Quick pass inside. There it is! Nailing it down, Wildcats. Getting another goal, Madison Taylor, the freshman.
It's a draw control that could really decide who has the lead heading into the fourth.
What a turn of events. 5-2. So if things stand, what BC scored in quarter number 1 will be flipped in quarter number 3, as BC had the slim 5-4 advantage in quarter number 2. BC would love to utilize as much of this time as they can. Shot clock, of course, is off. 50 seconds plus change remaining in this third quarter. What a comeback. A +3 third for Northwestern at home at Wilson Field. Both teams, as stated time and time again, past national champions. A preview of what could be two dominant teams this season in their respective conferences. We'll talk more about that in the fourth. White swiping it away in the air, trying to run it down, hit from behind. Whistle going to be called, giving it the way of the Cats. Can they make something happen with 5, with 4? Long range shot just for fun. That's going to bounce past the freshman goalkeeper Dolce, who checked in. Noah, 12-11 BC. We brought you in to be one of the best goalkeepers in the NCAA. Now it's time to show what you got.
Absolutely. And again, you know, obviously this is a huge game for both teams. They both want to win it, right? But in the end, if you're getting valuable experience, as that time, Halpern way too aggressive, trying to take the ball away from Ryan Smith. Or pardon me, that's not Ryan Smith. That's 16, not 18. Andrea Reynolds right there.
So I
on the clear.
Northwestern's, not Northwestern, excuse me. NCAA women's lacrosse, one of the toughest sports. I mean, they have a stick and eye goggles and a mouthpiece and just say, go out there,
Yeah.
No protection, just, caution to the wind half the time.
Sure. But as I was saying, Peter, this is a big game, obviously, for both these teams, right? They both want to win it. They both need it. But at the same time, we're in a non-conference play, right? This is a tune-up in a lot of ways for conference play, for postseason play. If you're going to trust your freshmen in later moments this season, you might as well get her some big-time experience now. So I like that move in that regard.
It's one of my favorite things about early non-conference games, especially with very tough opponents, is there's no cupcakes on the schedule for either of these teams, so might as well put them in the pressure cooker situation now. Misguided pass, those were the ones that were there earlier in the game, just not falling here in the fourth.
Big-time pickup by Ryan Smith on the back end, though, to keep the possession alive. Could have easily been a turnover.
Trying to find some space back at X now, passing it back to teammate. Let's see what Davis does. Looks inside. Oh, my goodness. Another beautiful shot. This time Cassidy Weeks with the no-look behind the back. She was past the goal by a step and a half. She could only deliver that shot and did so successfully. Unbelievable. What an heavyweight bout this afternoon on Big Ten Plus. We thank you for joining us. My goodness.
Samantha Smith did so well to win that draw away. She had it clean initially, then a beautiful potential takeaway by BC, and just got it right back. She's been massive in the draw circle all day long for Northwestern. 14-14 on DCs now between these two teams. Northwestern will certainly take that against an opponent like Boston College.
Wonder if BC comes out victorious, if Weeks is going to, sit back and talk to her teammates and be like, yeah, Martello, you did some fancy ones. I could do that too. Oh, kick save and a beauty. Infraction going to be called on BC, however.
No, I believe they're going to call Taylor on propulsion. They just made this same call against Medjid, and
You're right.
I'm not sure if a card came out, but if it's dangerous propulsion, the call, you would expect to see a card there. Watch the follow-through by Taylor.
Ooh.
Yup, caught her in the head. You could see it there. The follow-through caught the defender in the head. That was Courtney Weeks playing defense. And so Taylor, I believe, off to the bench here.
Yeah, you are correct.
Yep, player up for BC. And that
call, Noah.
on the replay, you can see that one for sure.
Again, when you have such staunch defense by BC, and they are known for their defense, collectively, if you think about it, they as a team allowed 9 goals the first 2 games combined, have now allowed 11. Again, much different opponent. However, it just shows that even though we've allowed 11, we're still going to be playing to our top level.
Absolutely.
So BC a slim 2-goal lead, but if they can add here, that one away, and that will stay BC's way.
Also potentially important, by the way, the third yellow for Northwestern, or the third card in general for Northwestern.
Mm-hmm.
Getting up there a little bit in terms of those cards. That second card from Allie Berkery was a green, not a yellow. So not the fourth yellow the next card would be.
Correct.
Which is important as well.
Back to X. Oh, good defense. Swatted away by the Cats. Making a run now. Who can get there? And they're going to say Northwestern comes away with it after the whistle.
Yeah, the whistle against Courtney Weeks right there for tamping down the stick of Halpern as she was trying to run that down. Northwestern with a beautiful forced turnover, and when they really needed it bad, could not afford to go down 3 goals at this stage of the game with how well BC has played on the defensive end all game long, despite Northwestern's outstanding third quarter.
So with 25 seconds now remaining on the player-up advantage, Kuykendall having no issues with letting that clock run out.
And it's not just that it's the extra player, it's that it's specifically Taylor who's out, and she's been so crucial offensively. You're not just missing your 7th offensive player, you're missing probably your 2nd best offensive player in this game behind Dylan Amonte.
Oh, very, very good point. So you might as well take your time, but also should there be a miss and a quick turnaround, you don't want a stretch pass from Boston College to be in an area where that other defender would have been.
And that's a tough miscue for Northwestern. Halpern was coming in at full speed to try to, Mahoney, pardon me, 29, not 24, to try to catch that pass. And Taylor did not put it right on the money, but also Mahoney made it a little bit tougher on herself than she had to.
Lucky roll, too, for BC to go just where the outstretched stick was.
Cross-check call on the transition there. And for Northwestern, it's not a stage right now where you can afford to give away these possessions. But also for Madison Taylor, a true first year, it's hard to not be in your head about having just gotten called for propulsion. You're a player who, you know, is experiencing some of your first high-level college action.
Yeah.
It's hard to not let that call get in your head and worry about getting another one. So we'll see how that affects her going forward.
Under 10 remaining in regulation. BC 2-goal lead. It was 1 coming into the 4th. They got an early goal by Weeks on a fancy shot.
It's Cassidy, of course.
Yeah.
Courtney's made a couple other plays. The Weeks sisters are doing work in this 4th quarter so far.
Right into the net. Good save by La Liberty.
For as good of a shooter as Kayla Martello is, it is really difficult to beat Molly La Liberty from that angle without getting a little bit more mustard on the ball. Still 25 seconds left in the shot clock. I think she could have held it out for something better there.
Well, at some point, if you're BC, even though the lead is only 2 goals, you start saying to yourself, okay, let's set up our offense, but let's try to use as much of the shot clock as possible, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I think we're not there yet, certainly, with this much time left, and Northwestern being a quick strike offense, but it's in the back of your mind maybe.
That one going too far, but good attempt there by Ritzik.
We haven't seen Ritzik much. It's only the 2nd time she's been in on an offensive possession. She looked rusty on that shot.
And down right at the goal is number 27, Izzy Skane.
Always a scary sight for Wildcat fans. She's back up okay.
She was slow to get up at one point against Syracuse as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, her teammates had held their collective breath because the team rotates around her.
But she got the foul call. What a huge shot here.
Free position. Skane, rifle shot. Bang! Throw it down with authority, Izzy. You're back within 1 against number 3, BC. Skane just, it was no regard to her in that situation. And she had 2 sticks because she took that extra step and went 3.5 to 4 before she fired the missile. And there you go. So
Smith.
Northwestern getting possession now.
Yeah, Smith actually, I think, wanted that to not be an alternate possession call, wanted the infraction just against BC. But either way, Northwestern has it for now. They got to be thrilled about that. And the chance to tie it up, I mean, Peter, it hasn't been tied since 1-1, I don't think.
You are correct. It has been a long time. Northwestern has had to claw back, but they have kept their composure. That's something you'll get from almost any Northwestern coach team, regardless of the sport. You know, we made our analogy earlier to field hockey, but, you know, the Northwestern field hockey team, similar success of coming from behind. Preached within the athletic offices here at Anderson Hall. But nonetheless, BC still has the lead and are known for their defense. Can they show it here? Kuykendall getting pushed off the mark.
Excellent defending by Melanie Welch right there, all over Kuykendall.
Spinning around, having the lane. Skane save and a beauty by Shea Dolce.
She was fouled, certainly fouled, and it's a yellow card is going to come out as well. She got hit in the head. It's a great save by Dolce, don't get me wrong. Skane was hit in the head and hit hard, and it's going to be a yellow for BC. So a huge chance for Skane on the free position, and also the card for BC. Couldn't quite tell who they got. It will be Sydney Scales, who's played such a good game defensively, but that time just too aggressive on the defense. Skane finally got through this first line of defense here as she slid in, and just watch Scales from the backside. Oh, that contact was actually from up front, but I think they got Scales pushing into that potentially. Let's see. Okay, no. You can see the yellow flag go up all the way as Skane entered the arc is when they called her for getting hit in the head. And then that contact on the back end was just in extra.
What a picture-perfect camera angle. Can the Cats, can Skane tie it up? And they do throw it down. Cats tied it up, Noah. Nineteenth goal of the season, Izzy Skane. Folks, we're tied at 13 with 7.5 remaining. Don't go anywhere.
Things have gotten so tight in the draw circle over these last few minutes. What a read by Madison Taylor. Second on this team in draw controls, and she read that one right off the whistle. Knew where it was going and just beat everybody to it.
Big pickup by Northwestern in a crucial period.
BC had to be offsides. They just had a player running. They had to have too many players. They had a player sprinting off.
Kendall Halpern was like, hey.
Can't do that. Get the shot clock reset, does Northwestern. And a team that usually attacks so early in the possession clock, Peter, has been taking a lot more time in recent moments. And the whistle, I think, came before the shot there.
Wow.
We lost that quickly. Amante took a quick shot and scored, but the whistle came before the shot went up. So it will be a free position look for Amante instead.
It is a 7-3 run since halftime for Northwestern. Boston College, again, an outstanding job so far. Noah.
And a chance to make it 8-3 right here. Amante has already scored from this exact position once.
Shot. Oh, she goes for the pass instead. Good defense by BC, snuffing that out.
Absolutely was a pass. Yeah.
What an amazing sequence defensively by Boston College. Read that immediately and did not allow that quick and one. 60 seconds on the shot clock. Northwestern has clawed back. Amante wanted to continue that one as well. She is going to get another free position. Dolce tested again here.
It's the third time she's drawn a shooting space call in this game. So talented at doing it, Amante. It's a really heady player, the senior. Knows how to get herself in this goal-scoring position.
Amante, upper left corner. Bring it all home. Northwestern has found the lead against Boston College. So happy to be able to be on this broadcast and experience this. But BC has the resolve. They have scored more than this number. Again, 14 against number 18 USC and 16 against number 23 UMass. So they have the ability to put a few more up.
Smith called that, Sam Smith, I should say, two Smiths out there, called that time for the early movement, and it's the right call. She did move first. And so a big draw for BC to grab. And you mentioned, Peter, I mean, this is a team that's used to the adversity, right? You don't get to the national championship 5 years in a row without weathering some storms. They have come back plenty of times down by a goal in the fourth quarter. It's just that the situation in which they've been placed from being up 4 at half to down 1 is a little bit newer. Not that that's completely new either, of course. But this is where your resolve is tested. And, of course, this team's resolve has been tested time and time again. The question is, who's the go-to? You would have to think Majid is going to get it at some point here.
Trying to look for a pass, nothing. There's McKenna Davis clamped down upon.
Yeah, here's Davis now with the pick and roll from Belle Smith.
The near side, White, stellar defense. Thought about pulling a trigger. That one's going to go on the ground. It'll get picked up clean to McKenna Davis, 30 seconds on the shot clock.
Peter, they've put Sam White on Jed Medjid starting in the start of the second half, and it has made a world of difference for Northwestern.
Can BC find their equal? Oh, point blank kick save. Amazing play. Fist pumps by La Liberty. Resets the shot clock, however, but boy, oh boy, and having to run off gingerly is Andrea Reynolds, the midfielder for the Eagles.
Belle Smith doesn't miss those, Peter.
Yeah.
I don't know how La Liberty got her foot to that ball, but she did and just kicked it away like you said. You know, just an unbelievable play, but the pressure going to continue to be put on by BC. There's no doubt about that. Reynolds back in now.
30 on the shot clock. BC trailing by 1. They haven't trailed all game until this last goal. The defense of the Wildcats has stepped up. That one goes too far, and that's going to stay the way of BC. With 15, with 14, with 13, they need to get a pass. They need to get a shot with 10. I'm not sure if they're aware of where things are at. Spinning around, that one goes too far, but that should expire the shot clock. With 3, with 2, with 1, and it is. They asked for a reset.
Yes, it is BC's contention here that it should be a reset, but that shot, that wraparound shot by Weeks did not get on frame from our view.
Correct.
And so it's correctly not reset, and Northwestern does have the turnover that they wanted to get. What a defensive possession. It starts and it finishes with Sam White on Jed Medjid, taking away one of the best scorers in the country for an entire 150 seconds nearly, Peter. Unbelievable.
I mean, we just talked about it. The goal scored by Northwestern, the go-ahead goal, was at the 6:32 mark. 3 minutes in game action now has gone off the clock, and Northwestern stands firm.
One of the best defensive possessions I've seen from Northwestern in a long time.
Looking inside, bounces it down. Ground up, number 45, Bolig, with the beautiful score. My goodness, 2-goal lead for the Cats. What a turn of events.
D'ing up, Medjid in the middle, the rest of the defenders coalescing around her. Halpern's had a great game. Mahoney's had a phenomenal game as well. And, of course, La Liberty has been sensational on the back line.
Everything you can hope for in somebody out of the transfer portal. 3:15 remaining, Noah.
And if you're BC, plenty of time to strike.
Yeah.
You have plenty of time to get back into this one. Not that you're not in it right now, but to get back right even on even terms with this one.
But you need it to happen here. You need a goal on this possession, because then if you're Northwestern, you come away with it, you can milk that additional 90 seconds off.
And if I'm Northwestern, I would not be running out of these BC players. Let them take their time if they want to.
Yeah. Yeah, give them that outside position. Clamp down on the inside. Again, we talked about it, and you've mentioned time and time again the defensive prowess of White. The coaching adjustments say, okay, that's your job now. And we talked about it. Big Ten Freshman of the Year, and you have a situation now, that's going to be a whistle against White. But I was going to say Madison Taylor absolutely can be have her consideration for Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, it's early for sure. But
yeah.
And there, Medjid finally got around White just enough to draw that foul, right? It's just about clearing the hips, and Medjid did it there and gets the foul call. Right here, you can see White hampering her because Medjid is just around her, and that's where the foul comes. And now a chance for Jen Medjid to make it a 1-goal game.
Can she pull an ace out of her sleeve? The magician, does she have another trick in her? Pulling around, and she does. Goes from near side to far, flick of the wrist. BC back to within 1, Noah, with 2:25 remaining. Trying to run it down. BC comes away with it. Can BC find the equalizer now? My goodness, Noah. What tension and suspense. Northwestern fans are all seated and silent right now.
Huge play by Reynolds. Just ran it down.
Yeah.
Just beat everybody to it. Her fourth draw control of the game. And Smith, you know, had a decent beat on it, but Reynolds had the first read and just got there.
Cassidy Weeks. Again, not only do you want to take as much time off the clock to not allow Northwestern time to try to find their go-ahead should BC scores, but you're also playing with the fire. That's going to be a whistle called.
I think shooting space there. 3 seconds?
No, 34.
The call was against 44. It's Gillespie.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure whether the shooting space or 3 seconds was the ruling, but either way, a phenomenal move initially by Cassidy Weeks to beat the initial defense into the arc.
Cassidy Weeks at a Bayport.
You can see Gillespie there. I think it's 3 seconds is the call. because the call was against 44. And what a chance for Cassidy Weeks.
Can they find a second goal in as many possessions? We talked about the importance of the draw control. Cassidy Weeks.
Oh
What
my.
a save! A career-defining save by La Liberty.
Timeout Northwestern. Molly La Liberty is, the last 2 games that she has played, Northwestern doesn't have the burners that they've had to ice games like this in years past.
Sure.
They don't have the Lauren Gilbert out there to run away from everybody. Even a Jill Girardi or an Ali Palermo out there to run away from everybody. So that makes things a little bit tougher when you're trying to kill time.
I think, though, you can look at it in an optimistic way. I think because you don't have those individual burners, that you're forcing yourself to have crisper passing, maybe some draw enough plays. The off-ball movement is also more important as well.
Great move by Bolig there.
5-second differential.
And Northwestern would take a possession clock timeout. They would. I mean, they tried to get a shot off, but they would certainly take it. If I'm BC, I'm surprised there hasn't been more doubling here.
Yeah. Where's the slides? Oh, there's a wide open opportunity.
Smart
play.
Smart
We
play.
both said it.
And that's just, the Skane has shown off her ability to be a team player so many times in this game.
Bounces down. That's not going to happen. Thinking about it point blank, but with 5, that'll expire the shot clock. Just throwing it down in hopes of anything. And that's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote. The Wildcats of Northwestern, hugs across the board, defeat Boston College in a thrilling come-from-behind victory, 15-14, a 9-4 differential in the second half, Noah.